so we were very busy at that time. So we came out from the room and suddenly he left on the sofa. And by that time, I was telling Saranga Thakur Prabhu that time that Prabhuji, see, now some bad noise is coming out with his breathing from inside at the last moment. And then we came out and uh, everyone came out and Gargamuni Prabhu was there. And then he came, he left on that particular sofa, and the oxygen cylinder, huge oxygen cylinder like this. So it was there right in front of that seat. And then he left and he hit that cylinder, and then cylinder fell down and he also fell down, like in the cross leg. And then we immediately came back in the room, and then few devotees, it was very difficult to move him in that situation. So on great difficulty, they put him on the floor, on the carlon that was there. So and then the doctor who came from Delhi, he checked, no breathing, no pulse. And then we thought that he is no more, and he also said that he is gone. And then we tried to inform the devotees, and devotees started coming, and that's the end. So, Hare Krishna. All glories to Brahmananda Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Shri Brahmananda ki. So I think from the bottom of all of our hearts, we want to offer wonderful thank you to Dharmatma Prabhu for serving our very dear godbrother in his last days. And we can know that Dharmatma Prabhu's life is perfect. Brahmananda told him, I love you. Brahmananda, he was so formidable, so big and formidable. At the same time, his heart was as formidable as he looked. His heart was that soft. Tadamante, would you like to speak something?
I did an association with Brahmananda in Africa.
Come and speak. So we will invite.
Can I just tell one more story?
Yes, of course.
Sit there, please.
I'd almost forgotten that we had this initiation ceremony there, and Prabhupada was getting ready to go to back to India. So we were all preparing his tiffin, and I wanted to make sandesh because he had instructed me at one time that if I perfect the making of milk sweets and offer them to Radha and Krishna, that will be the perfection of my life. So I went to different sweet shops and I saw how they were doing this and that. And then, so I was making some sandesh, and then I got called in so that I could get my Gayatri, my mantras. And I was like in the middle of the sandesh, and I really wanted to finish the sandesh, but I had to go in. And I had also like so many questions. And then Prabhupada, of course, he gives me the mantras, and he said, are there any questions? But actually, when you were in Prabhupada's presence, everything was satisfied. So I went out and I finished the sandesh. I cut them into diamonds and put some saffron and rose water, smeared it all over, and cut some hearts out of roses. In Vrindavan, all the petals, they're shaped like hearts, but in Nairobi you have to cut them out and make them look like hearts. So anyway, so Brahmananda sat next to Prabhupada on the plane. Only Brahmananda could appreciate this because prasad was everything for Brahmananda. So he said Prabhupada would take a piece of sandesh and he would close his eyes, and then he would concentrate and eat it. Then he would take another one, and then he said to him, tell her she has learned the art. That was a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, Brahmananda Prasad were just like you were saying, he liked cakes, he liked sweets, he liked everything. He liked subjis, he liked everything.
So now we'd like to invite His Grace Dhanamati Prabhu to give us some memories of Brahmananda.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I actually I had quite a lot of association with Brahmananda, but most intimately in Africa, in Nairobi. But the thing that I remember most about my time there with him, the thing that I remember most about my time there with him was his very close relationship with Srila Prabhupada, very intimate. Now, I was always afraid of Prabhupada because I knew I was very, very fallen, very unworthy. In fact, I avoided getting initiated because I understood this is serious business. So I avoided it for almost 2 years. And it was Mukunda Prabhu who found me one day. There were some initiations. And he said, "How long have you been a devotee?" And I said, "Oh, a couple of years like that." And he said, "You're not initiated. Why?" I said, "Oh, I was always somewhere else, when Prabhupada came." So he grabbed me and he dragged me up to Prabhupada's room. And that's the only reason I got initiated that day, actually. But I always felt in Prabhupada's presence great awe and reverence. And Prabhupada had instructed that his initiated disciples, they could touch his feet when we were offering Guru Puja like that. But I was always afraid to touch his feet, right? I felt very, very sinful. But when I was in Africa, and Hare Kesh was Prabhupada's secretary, so I was cooking at the time there, and so Hare Kesh one day, he came into the kitchen, and he explained that, Srila Prabhupada had a schedule, and then he would take a little rest in the afternoon, right? And then he would wake up, he would shower, right? And Hare Kesh would then take him some fresh coconut water and a garland and some sandalwood, right, which he would apply to his forehead. And Hare Kesh came to me this day and he said, "Look, I'm feeling really sick and I have to do this service for Prabhupada, right? I was wondering, would you do it for me?" Right? So I felt, I can do some personal service for Prabhupada, but then I realized, right, putting a garland on Prabhupada, that's all right, but this sandalwood paste that was in the tray, and there was a little marigold flower, we had to apply it to Srila Prabhupada's forehead like this. So he showed me how to do it, but I was feeling very, very intimidated by this idea. So anyway, I went into Srila Prabhupada's room with this tray with a garland, with a sandalwood paste, and with a silver glass with Prabhupada's coconut water on it, yeah. And now Brahmananda was in there talking to Srila Prabhupada, right? And I can't remember what they were talking about, but he was talking very intimately with Srila Prabhupada, yeah. And so I went in, I put the tray down and I offered my obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, right? And Srila Prabhupada came over and he stood in front of me, right? And I got up and I put the garland on Srila Prabhupada, right? And then it came to time to put this sandalwood on his forehead, and I was feeling great trepidation like this, and I was very hesitant, very hesitant. So Brahmananda, he had been, his discussion with Srila Prabhupada had been interrupted, right? And he was a little impatient. So he saw me, I was standing like this, looking at Prabhupada, very hesitant to actually apply this sandalwood. And he grabbed the tray from me, right? Took the flower, and then dabbed it on Srila Prabhupada's head, but he dabbed it so hard that Prabhupada went like this, and Prabhupada's head was going back like this, and I was completely awestruck at this, at this intimacy with Srila Prabhupada, and I was like this awestruck, and then I remember I went and I offered Srila Prabhupada right, his glass of coconut water. And Prabhupada looked at me and he smiled and he said, "Thank you very much." Now, a prelude to that story was that just before I went to Africa, Prabhupada was passing through London, as he did many, many times. And Prabhupada was about to leave. So we were all waiting downstairs at Bhaktivedanta Mana for Prabhupada to come down. There was a kirtan going on. But Prabhupada was taking a long time. We were down there about 15 minutes and no sign of Prabhupada appearing. Right? So I walked upstairs, right, to Prabhupada's room like this. Right? And I went to the side of Prabhupada's room. His door was open just a little. And I looked inside. Right? And there was Prabhupada sitting behind his desk. And Mukunda was there. Not Mukunda, Hari Sauri was there. And Hansadutta. Right? And Hari Sauri brought Srila Prabhupada a pair of socks to put on. Right? And Prabhupada was sitting there putting his socks on. Right? And he was talking to Bhaktivedanta Mana. And Bhaktivedanta Mana, yeah. And so Prabhupada was putting his socks on and he was talking with Hansadutta and they were laughing together, right? And I felt very distant from Srila Prabhupada. And whenever I had any intimate association with Prabhupada, even at my initiation, he was very grave, right? This feature of graveness. So Prabhupada was always very grave and very stern with me. I remember looking at this intimate, exchange between Prabhupada and Hansadutta, right? And the way that Prabhupada was smiling, and I remember thinking in my heart, I wish that Prabhupada would smile at me like that. I really wish, Prabhupada would smile at me like that. So then a few months later, when I was in Africa, and Prabhupada came, and after I gave Prabhupada this coconut water, Prabhupada looked straight into my eyes, right? And a big smile, and he looked at me and he said, "Thank you very much." And I realized he wasn't just thanking me for this coconut water, for the garland that I'd given him, but he was fulfilling my desire. Yeah? I remember I went out of there feeling blissfully wonderful. But Brahmananda, right, I could never understand such intimacy with Srila Prabhupada because I was always in such great awe and reverence of Srila Prabhupada. But Brahmananda, he was one of the original devotees. In fact, he did so much intimate service for Srila Prabhupada. And I always, in a sense, envied that intimate connection that he had with Srila Prabhupada. When Brahmananda, being in London was actually very, very nice because Srila Prabhupada, whenever he was traveling here and there, right, to America or to India, Prabhupada always stopped off in London. So we had a lot of association with Srila Prabhupada. But not only with Srila Prabhupada, with other devotees like Brahmananda and other sannyasis and other their original advanced devotees, also when they were traveling, many of them stopped off in London. So we actually had a lot of association with Brahmananda in London. And Brahmananda, he would give these most incredible lectures. And he would give these examples, these analogies, right, based on experiences that he'd just recently had. Like he'd been in Hamburg, like that, and he's explaining about some of the experiences in Hamburg, and elaborating on them and giving the most incredible Krishna conscious revelations. And I always love to hear Brahmananda speak about his association with Prabhupada. In fact, I remember asking him just a couple of years ago when I met him over there, and I said that, Prabhu, you have to, you give such, wonderful lectures and you have such wonderful memories of Prabhupada, you have to record these or write them all down. He said, yeah, maybe I will. Yeah. But we actually have some nectar from Brahmananda. Yeah. So, much more about Brahmananda I don't really know. I know that he was a very compassionate devotee, and as Prabhu said, he had a very, very soft and gentle heart. And I knew he was very, very kind. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So we'd like to thank Tanamani for some very intimate, interesting association with Brahmananda Prabhu. So Srangatakur, you come. Yes, you sit. Come. You were able to serve our dear God brother at the last. Now Dharma spoke, now it's your turn. We're all waiting for you. We're not moving forward.
Ancha kalpatarvascha kripasindabhaya vacha patidhanam pavanabhya vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I don't have much anything to say about Prabhuji. Only 6th of June when Dharmatma Prabhu called me, Prabhuji, Brahmananda Prabhu's health is not so good. His breathing is problem, so we need to. His doctor said he need to oxygen should be 24 hours in his room. So that time I was in our Jagannath temple. There some construction is going on there. So I came from there. I took Dharmatma Prabhu from the temple. We both together we went to his home in Anand Krishna Van. So then we sit. Mahadevi Mataji was sitting there also. Gargamuni Prabhu was there. So Gargamuni Prabhu gives some medicine to Dharmatma Prabhu. You should give the medicine time to Prabhuji. So we are giving one by one tablet to him. Although he was not actually want to take them, but still you have to take. Gargamuni Prabhu said, no, you have to take them. It was too strong medicine. So Gargamuni again insisting that you should eat something, but he said, I don't have any appetite, how I can eat? So we brought some juice, fresh juice. Although first I brought some juice which is not sugar free, the Gargamuni said, then we had some water on that and we gave him. He was happy to have them. Then I came back again, and meanwhile we asked, Mahadevi Mataji is saying he loves cakes. So I asked him, Prabhuji, would you like to some cake from the temple, then he can bring. So he looks like this cake, very smiling. So immediately I came out from the room, I came to temple, I took some cake from our deity bakery, Prabhupada bakery, they are making, Mataji are making the cake, very wonderful cake. Also I take some from our bakery kitchen, 3-4 cakes I baked and I took. And also I took some sugar-free juice for Prabhu. So we went there, I offered some cake, immediate started eating the cake. He was really joyfully eating the cake. Then I give this juice also. So I told him, Prabhu, this is sugar-free juice. So he smiled, this is okay, good. So he took the juice also. So then night, before we come back, everything was okay. Then he said, okay, you can go now. Also we took permission from him, we are going now. Then he apparently told us, okay, if you can arrange some devotee to read for me tomorrow. So we came to temple, we talked 2 devotees, we fixed 2 devotees. Tomorrow morning one devotee will go right after breakfast, he will read up to 1 o'clock. Then another devotee will go 3:30 after lunch prasadam, 3:30 to 7 or 7:30. Then we are looking for another devotee for night shift also. So we are planning that. That morning, next morning after Bhagavatam class, what Dharmatma Prabhu already explained it. Mahadevi Mataji called, last night he was collapsed on the floor, so still he is in the floor, please come with some devotee. So I took car, I dragged car, I took 4, 5 more brahmacharis, 4, 5, 6 who went to room. We took him from the floor and he made him lie in the bed, in his bed. Then he said, no, put me in the chair. So where usually sit always in the chair. What our Gargamuni said, this is his bhajan kuti, always sitting here and he's chanting, he's doing his bhajan. Last 5 years he never go out anywhere. Only when some program in the temple, we call, from temple side we call him, Dharmatma Prabhu went there with the car and bringing him in the temple. Otherwise he never go anywhere last 5 years. Gargamuni Prabhu said. So then we are planning what to do. Then Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Dharmakar Prabhu called to Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj said, okay, I am sending one Dr. devotee from Delhi. You will reach 1 o'clock in the Vrindavan. Then he will see the condition, according to that you do whatever you like. So one doctor came, he came 1:30. So his condition was bad, slowly it's going to bad. Then doctor came also. So he suggesting, so first when he came he said, okay, we should take him to in Delhi, Apollo Hospital. So Apollo Hospital, I will take. So I have 2-3 ambulance wala's number. So I call everybody. So they has small ambulance, but we charge for big ambulance also, but we could not find it. So I call one small ambulance, which is where there has oxygen, also AC car is that. So he came to Ananda Krishna Bhavan. So we are planning how we'll take him to on this small ambulance. He cannot sit, he have to lie, but his body is such a big body, he cannot lie also in the ambulance. What to do? So we are charging everywhere the ambulance, big ambulance, 2-3 places we call, but we could not find. So we all came out from the room, and on the balcony we were discussing what to do. And Gargamuni Prabhu alone, he was in the room. Suddenly he call us, come everybody inside. So we went in, we saw Gargamuni Prabhu said he left his body in his chair, then he fell down. Then we pick him up, we put him on the mattress. We trying. Doctor was there also from Delhi. Then I called doctor from our hospice, who came morning also. He came and investigated. He also suggesting us to send him to some good hospital in Delhi, better too. Then that doctor also came. He said there are eyelid. Then he declared that he is not more. Then what to do? Then we are trying to inform the devotees, and Brahmananda Prabhu is not more. So after that, whatever the ceremony was there, we try our best as a service to Prabhupada, dearmost devotee, dearmost disciple. So we pray to all of you, please pray, bless us, then we can serve this mission, continue like this. Is this Brahmananda Prabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
So we'd like to thank all of us from the bottom of our hearts for the wonderful service that Saranga Thakur did for Brahmananda in his last days. And both of them, he and Dharma, but they both got the best blessings, most blessings. So I have one more offering here, very small offering. This is from Dhananjaya Prabhu. Dhananjaya. I am also devastated by Brahmananda Prabhu's demise. Krishna Balaram saved him from going to Delhi, however. So it is glorious that he left Sri Vrindavan Dham, left from Sri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Prabhupada often remarked that Vrindavan is the best place in universe for arrivals and departures. Serving in separation, Dhananjay Das. Sri Brahmananda Prabhu ki. So we thank Dhananjay Prabhu for this few words, and it reminds us that somebody mentioned how Brahmananda was the one who saved Prabhupada from the hospital. So Prabhupada saved Brahmananda from the hospital also. Does anybody else want to say a few words? You want to speak? What is Prabhuji's name? Pankaj Nab. So,
He's the personal servant for
Acha, so we'd like to ask Pankaj Nab to speak a few words about Brahmananda Prabhu.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Actually, I was thinking when I was hearing that if I can also speak something, because I was thinking that when I joined this movement, uh, um, I was very much impressed about the movement, like this is as a movement, Krishna consciousness movement. So, and I heard that about the first disciple Prabhupada made in Western countries, Brahmananda Prabhu. I know, I don't remember where I read it and where I heard it. Among the first, but I heard like he is the first disciple. So after that I have never heard much about Prabhu. And after that I saw sometime in videos, and I was not having much ideas, like it's not so easy to understand devotees especially. And once my Guru Maharaj was here, and then Srimad Danavir Goswami Maharaj, he asked me to find out my god brother Brahmananda and Gargamuni is here. Where they are, just find out. I want to go and pay my humble obeisances to them. Then I thought, oh, they were here. Then I think I asked Dharmatma Prabhu, and then he said, oh, they are in the Ananda Krishna Ban. So I went there and then I asked whether, and my Guru Maharaj said, just first ask them that whether I can come and pay obeisances, just like that. Then I went first, and then I called, and Gargamuni Prabhu picked up the phone, and then he said, oh, yes, he can come, like that, said. And that we went, and the first time I saw, and then Brahmananda Prabhu is so huge. I have never seen like a person like so huge, like he is sitting, and the whole sofa is like a small, kind of small stool for him. First time I was never thinking that he's so huge. And then the word he asked my Maharaj that, what happened? You're so skinny. What is happening to you? You're not eating anything? Then I said, Maharaj is eating only once. Then there was some very nice talk. They have very intimate talk. And then I was like really thinking, I'm so fortunate to come and then to see that this God brothers, so much love they have, and so much. That's a different platform they are speaking. It's very rare to be in that kind of association. I was feeling very fortunate. And then I understood one thing. The Gargamuni Prabhu also came, and then three of them were having like 1 hour, maybe more than that, a discussion. I was taking some videos, and I was thinking maybe they will not like it, maybe my Guru Maharaj will say something, but they were like, okay. And then I was showing that this is Brahmananda. I was showing like so many devotees. You have seen Brahmananda Prabhu? Then I was showing from my mobile. There was another mobile, so I lost that. But I was showing so many devotees that picture, and they were liking. And anyway, that was a little memory. And we brought some prasadam. My Guru Maharaj said, oh, they love so much prasadam. So, but I thought whether I did any service. I was thinking of to do some service. What service can be done? And I was thinking, I was so unfortunate not to do any service. But while I was sitting, I was thinking that maybe I have done a little service sometime, because I heard I saw some words from Brahmananda Prabhu on many occasions here. There and ISKCON's first the first day ISKCON was associated, that memorial day, Brahmananda Prabhu had a lecture. And then I heard, hearing the most, I was like so, just by seeing him and just by how he talks, how he sees, how he sees, everything was like so impressive. I cannot express that. And then I was, and he was so commanding, and then he was showing from the Bhagavad, he was from the Bhagavad Gita. He loved, I think, Bhagavad Gita. Bring the Bhagavad Gita. So then he asked everyone that, can you tell what is the most important verse in Bhagavad Gita? And then everyone is saying different verses. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. So he was saying all those. Then after that, there were many, even Swamis, many devotees were all very big, were present. So, and even I also said some verse, but it's okay, it's not. Oh, okay, like that. But ultimately he said, just open 15.7, Mamai Vamsa Jivo Loke, like that, and started. Then he was not saying, just read the verse. So one of the Swami read the verse, and then translation, he said translation. Then he started reading the translation, word by word, I said. Then I was thinking, wow. So he said, read word by word. He was just escaping the word by word. Yeah, Amsa. Yeah, Mataji remind the whole thing, I think now. So then he said, this is the, he said, for me, this is the most important verse from Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada has given, because this amsa, this word, this actually reveals our identity. So Prabhupada has given us identity. So that's how I was contemplating so much, that why he was so dedicated, because I understood his position, who is he, how he is connected, and how his spiritual master has given him the identity. That's how he is not, that's what I understand. Actually, this is a person who actually really can serve or understand a guru, who is a guru. So guru gives the sambandha gyan. I was reading after some time, and I was very much about guru. So guru gives actually the sambandha gyan. So he understood that. So he was so much. Then he was saying, the Prabhupada was making this ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And there, what is International Society? There was only a storefront, and then some of the devotees, they don't know even so much. But he said the Prabhupada knew everything, that's what is going to happen. So that was his understanding on Prabhupada. That's why he was understanding. And then after that I was reading. Sometime I was thinking that I should know more about Brahmananda Prabhu, how he was actually serving Prabhupada. So I read his Vyas Puja offerings, like the beginning time, first like this time. Then I saw he was, it's like so much. We don't actually see. Even I'm like 8 years or 10 years. Even I have been know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead before coming to ISKCON. Even we are chanting Hare Krishna, not Hare Krishna, some Harinam before coming to ISKCON. But still, we don't have that much knowledge, like how. So he was just joining, and then after 1 year, 2 years, the 2 years, I was speaking, writing Vyas Puja, offering so much of contents there about Guru. And that's how I was trying to understand. But still I'm thinking it's not so easy to understand a pure devotee. I will say it's very difficult to understand a pure devotee, and what to speak of serving. So here, just presenting in this memorial, meeting so many devotees are saying their wonderful memories of the association, and uh, so here I will pay my humble obeisances to Brahmananda Prabhu and all the devotees that were glorifying him. And one more thing I will also say, the Brahmananda Prabhu is so easily approachable. I was thinking he may not be, how I can ask him a question, such a big person, but he is so easily approachable. I just ask something and he was just like so nicely said, and then it's like very much personal. That's how I'm trying to understand more and more Brahmananda Prabhu, and also I'll beg his blessings that if I will be able to stay, then we'll be able to do some service such in such loyalty or in such like genuinity like that, and also thank all the devotees glorifying Brahmananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Brahmananda Prabhu ki. So we'd like to thank Pankaj Prabhu for very heartfelt offering to Brahmananda. Many of us have been highlighting Brahmananda's great love and Brahmananda's great devotion. He highlighted Brahmananda's in deep philosophical understanding of Prabhupada's books. It was always amazing to hear his Bhagavad Gita classes. Not only it wasn't just sentimental, but he also had the deep philosophical background of this Prabhupada. Prabhuji has emphasized this aspect very nicely. So we would love to go on glorifying His Grace Brahmananda Prabhu forever. But I think we've come to the end. We just want to say we were so fortunate to have lived here in Vrindavan with Brahmananda. Unfortunately, we didn't take so much advantage. It's like those people who live in Agra, they never go see the Taj Mahal. They know it's there, we can go see it anytime. So we just know Brahmananda's there, we can go anytime. So, but we got bathed by the nectar of his association, by all the devotees, highlighting his unflinching faith in Prabhupada, traveling across Europe and Middle East just to get to Pakistan. It's not like now we just jump on a plane and go. He was, they went by bus and train and hitchhiked and all across the most. I mean, those days we can't imagine what it's like, to have to go across, Europe and Eastern Europe and Middle East, and finally get arrested in Turkey on the suspicion that you're Christian missionaries. We can't imagine the austerities that these people have performed to satisfy the desires of Srila Prabhupada. And also going to Africa, I was just listening, because everybody on Facebook is putting up all the different talks of Brahmananda, and he was talking about, took them the boat journeys, not that they flew, they took a boat across the ocean. The ocean was rough, it took, the 8-day trip took 12 days, then they couldn't enter the country, then Parvati, 60-foot waves, my God. And Parvati described how difficult it was. You weren't making any devotees, but still Prabhupada insisted that you maintain my Nairobi center. Now you go there, they bought more property all around, it's expanding like anything. So beautiful. Radha Banki Bihari. Sri Sri Radha Banki Bihari Lal Ki Jai. And our dear friend Umapati Prabhu from Varanasi, he's preaching so nicely there, making local devotees. My vision in Africa, is, especially in Kenya, is ISKCON is going to take over all the temples there. Because all the young people, young Indians, they don't see any future in Africa. it's falling apart. We read in the paper all the time, something going on there, it's a crazy place. So all the young Indians are leaving. The old Indians, they have nowhere to go. They grew up in Africa, they have their business there, the young people are leaving. So eventually there will be no one to maintain the temples, they'll turn them all over to ISKCON. And ISKCON is actually making young African devotees. They're the only ones, nobody else. None of the Indian temples there are making any local devotees, but that was Prabhupada's, and that's why he insisted and pushed Brahmananda to stay there under any circumstance. One day, I'm convinced even the Swaminarayan temple will come to ISKCON, will run all the temples in Nairobi.
One thing I remember about Africa was how easily
In those days, the people weren't even wearing, when I arrived in the early, in the middle 70s, they told me that the people in Nairobi had only started just wearing clothes a few years ago. And every corner and third shop, a third door would be a brothel or a bar. I mean, and nobody knew how to read. There was a university.
Prabhupada actually said that preaching in Africa means chant Hare Krishna and distribute prasadam. He said, don't expect that these people can follow regulated principles. Simply chant Hare Krishna and distribute prasadam. Brahmananda and Chayavan then began a debate with Prabhupada actually about, we can print some small books in Swahili like this and all the rest. And Prabhupada said, no, just chant Hare Krishna, distribute prasadam. So again, they can tell about some small books and until eventually Prabhupada just shouted at them, said, no, chant Hare Krishna, distribute prasadam. And everywhere you went in Africa, or at least in Kenya, everybody, when they saw devotees, they would immediately chant, hey, Hare Krishna Bana, hey, Jambu Bana, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Everybody chanted Hare Krishna, everybody. And they enjoyed it so much, so much.
Prabhupada would get off the plane one time, and the people on the tarmac would say Hare Krishna to Prabhupada.
Oh yeah,
Prabhupada hadn't even come to hadn't come to Africa yet.
yeah.
And everyone was saying Hare Krishna.
Yeah. People there, very, very simple. Yeah. Like children almost, compared with the sophistication of as Westerners, right? Very, very simple people, right? And they just love prasadam, love to eat prasadam, love to chant Hare Krishna, right? I remember one devotee, I can't remember his name, but they had great rhythm and great kirtan.
Sarvabit.
Sarvabit.
Sarvabit. He had big lung cage. He was from the Luo tribe.
That's right.
They had very big lungs. and
Big,
was a
big
great
lung cage,
singer
yeah.
and a great Mridanga
A
player.
great Mridanga player.
And when Prabhupada came, he led the Guru Puja, and then he stopped, and Prabhupada said, continue. And then Sarvabit turned to
Dinabandha.
Dinanath.
Dinanath, yeah.
To Dinanath, he said he should sing. And then Prabhupada says, no, you sing.
Yeah.
So he was maybe 15 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a young boy,
Yeah.
but he was very serious and he became initiated at that time, sort of it.
Yeah.
And then he went to Mombasa and he learned how to cook. And then he went with Richaraj on television shows and cooking shows in Mombasa.
Yeah. I loved Africa. Africa was such a nice place for chanting, for preaching.
One of the tapes that I was just watching on the internet, Brahmananda was telling that one time they were short of money. This is the beginning when they were starting, like Tanamaji said, just chant Hare Krishna and Prasada. So they made this special preparation that everybody in Africa and Kenya eats with,
Ugali.
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 And everybody said, hey,
Boiled
why you
rice.
give us the same stuff we have on our own plate? We want the stuff you like. Because they were distributing it on khichdi and other things. And then when they gave them their own food, they said, we don't want the stuff we got on our own plate at home. We want your food.
Ugali is just maize flour boiled with water. Simple.
Anyway, it's been a wonderful day glorifying Brahmananda. So many devotees have given their Smriti Sabha Brahmananda here at this time.
Gargamuni Prabhu was saying that his room will be open from 6 to 10 p.m. Anyone who wants to go there, they can go and see.
So that's Gargamuni said that Brahmananda's room, anybody wants to go for darshan from 6, that's already 2 hours have gone, and till 10 o'clock you can go take darshan in Brahmananda's room.
For every day.
Or every day, always.
Every day.
Always.
Oh, for every day,
Yes.
just today, alright, every day.
Every day,
They kept his shoes, from the very seat he left, his cane, everything is very nicely. Kept Prabhupada's pictures, his pictures.
He's saying that in Bhajan Kuti.
Nice, Bhajan Puti. He always stays there.
Devamati asked me, what about Samadhi? If we does Samadhi for Brahmananda Prabhu, then I was actually stuck with this question. At least I didn't think about that because this happens so unexpectedly. And then, but it would be very nice to do some to take Samadhi and we have the also. So let me ask me. I thought let me ask Senior Devotee in advance. So this can you tell?
Yeah, discussions are already going on, I don't know what is.
Yes, Maharaj said that they discussed in the legal level and
Standard discussion, yeah.
Definitely. Alright, Parvati's offering to pay for it, so. Great. My offering was this service, and I've said whatever I wanted to say. I never had much association with him, but Brahmananda, as somebody else said today, he was a household word, so we all know Brahmananda. I was always up in the northwest corner of America in Portland, so I didn't get so much association with Brahmananda. But whatever I spoke was what I've seen. Hare Krishna.
So I requested Gopal Krishna Maharaj that we have such a jewel of a devotee as Brahmananda and we need to make a samadhi. So he said to contact the VEB and the EC, the Executive Council of GBC. So I wrote a letters and then Gopal Krishna Maharaj was favorable and most of our VEB members also wrote favorable letters that it's a great idea to have a samadhi. So the next time anybody sees Gopal Krishna Maharaj, please ask him, so when are we going to have the samadhi installation? Because there's some,
Yes.
yeah, Suranga Thakur got a huge mug full of ashes and I just have to go to Sriji Jewelers and get a suitable container, beautiful container, like we got for Jamuna. And then we'll make a nice simple one, like Narmada Swami and Prabhu Chaitanya. He's a simple man. Brahmananda was simple. He doesn't need an elaborate one like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's elaborately carved, carved thing. So I was ready to dig a hole 2 days ago. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj laughed because he knows I will do it. So, but it would be very nice if the devotees would, when they see Gopal Krishna Maharaj, to please ask. So Maharaj, when are we having the samadhi installation of Brahmananda Prabhu? And that will make me feel a little more comfortable that so many other people also want.
Yeah.